what really makes this unique is it's got a random width type of design to this series. As you can see, there are 3 different widths of the planks. There's a 3-inch, a 5-inch, and a 7-inch plank.
And I assume first we're going to sort planks, right?
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and open the cartons, start setting the planks out in stacks of each width. It's opened about 4 cartons of the material, which is about the normal amount you want to open, so that way you can get a random type of pattern look.
So if you encounter the exact same plank or a plank where the pattern is similar but shifted, you can grab a different plank.
Exactly. Now you don't want to get stuck on a certain pattern to where you're going to use more of one width.
So if you go 7, 3, 5, 3, 7, 3, 5, 3, you're using twice as many 3s as the others.
Exactly. So that means when you get 3/4 of the way across the room, you're going to be out of 3-inch widths.
So if we have these stacked up like this, we're going to be aware of how much of each kind we're using.
Exactly. So at every 3 rows, you want to try to make sure to stick with one width every 3 rows. I mean, you can randomize it each 3 times.
Right.
So if you want to do 7, 3, 5, and then 3, 7, 5.
Right.
You're only using one width for each 3 because there's 3 different sizes.
Okay. So how do we start? 1 row up against the wall, and that row is using the 7-inch planks. So what are you going to do next?
Next, I am going to grab my 3-inch.
Okay.
Do 7, 3.
We've got a 7-inch row.
Yep, our 7-inch row is our starter row here, and then I've got a 3-inch. Now that we got this row, that's our 7, 3, so let's put a 5-inch down. Now you notice right here, this is just for our demonstration purposes. You notice there's a seam here, and there's a seam here. Now there's going to be a seam right here in the same pretty much spot. I mean, that's okay if that happens in your installation, but I mean, for the look that you want to go, you really want to try to get it as random as you can on these seams going across the room. So I mean, whatever first plank you're getting ready to put in the row, if you have to slice that plank in half or slice it into a quarter or something like that to offset your end joints, that way you get a random look going across the room with all the seams in different areas.
Okay, but in our case, we're going to have a zigzag.
Yeah, and just for our demonstration purposes, we're going to have a zigzag going across right here.
And just so people know, the reason we have a zigzag, it's not because we're deliberately being lazy with the demo, it's because our only cut pieces are samples, which are about 9 inches.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we've got to cut up this.
We don't want to waste all the inventory to cut up in case you want to purchase the floors.
Exactly.
This is just our sample piece.
Okay.
That we send to our customers that has a label on the back and everything.
Okay.
And that's why we're getting, the pattern here for what we're doing for the demo.
Okay, so now we've got 3 rows.
Yep, got 3 rows.
We've got a 7,
a 3, and a 5.
And now what you're saying is to keep ourselves even and not running out of a certain size, it would be best to think of the next 3 as another set of 7, 3, and 5, but we can rearrange that.
Exactly. You can rearrange it if you want to, put it in a different order. So now we got a 7, 3, 5. If you want to go uniform across the room and go 7, 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, you can definitely do that.
Okay.
But if you want to get the random type of look with what this floor is kind of designed to do, let's do something like this. So we did 7, 3, 5. Let's do a 3-inch.
Would you do a 5 next to a 5?
You can if you want to.
Right.
But I mean,
sort of jumps out,
me
doesn't it?
personally, I would still want to go with a random look each different row rather than, getting a different row, different row, different row all the way across the room. Then you see 2 of the same type in the middle of the room.
That would jump out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would look a little weird.
Okay. 3, 5, 3, 7 as we go left to right.
For now, your option is either 5 or 7. So let's go 7.
You could, if you wanted to, Adam, you could lay a few rows down ahead of time. You could lay 3 or 4 rows down.
Oh yeah, if you want to go
look at it and say, when those are all snug, that's going to be fine, or when those are all snug, I'm not going to like this particular set, and you can swap a couple.
Exactly, you can swap it out and move stuff around.
You've laid out the 7s. You're going to go ahead and practice lay out the 5.
Yeah, we're going to practice lay the 5 now.
7, 3, 5, and then we've got
3, 7, 5.
3, 7, 5. And so you want to actually pre-lay another set of 3. So you're going to you are going to not want to put a 5 down since you don't want to match 5. So
yeah, you don't put 5 on 5.
7.
So let's go ahead and just put down the 3.
We've got 7, 3, 5, 3, 7, 5, and then a 3. So you can either jump to a 7 again, or you can, which would repeat the previous pattern.
Yeah, if you want to repeat the previous pattern, you can.
But in our case, let's go with a 5.
Let's go with a 5. We've got several rows laid out here now, so now if we want to go back here and do an install, we can put them in real quick. There you go. We got our 7-inch, 3-inch, 5-inch, 3-inch, 7-inch, 5-inch, 3-inch, 5-inch, 7-inch. So we're just kind of doing a random design across the room. So I mean, me personally, after 7-inch, I'm going to probably start with the 5 next.
Okay.
Kind of break it up so that way you're not going 3, 3, 3, 3.
You're looking and saying, I don't want to have a 3-inch plank every 20 inches.
Exactly.
Because your eye will catch that too.
Yeah, exactly. You want to try to do as random across the room as possible.
So that's another reason to set these things down in advance is your eyes will catch, hey, every exactly 2 feet, there's a 3-inch plank.
Exactly.
And so I need to do some different rearranging.
Kind of wrap up here, yeah, set your planks up on the wall for when you get started. Make your installation a little bit easier to get yourself started. And then when you decide what rows you want in certain areas, go ahead and just lay out several rows at a time so you can get a look of what random design you want to look through the room.
And so you're trying to make sure that you probably use one size about every 3 rows so that you don't overuse any one particular size.
Exactly, yeah, don't overuse one particular width or else you get across that room halfway through, you're going to run out of 3-inch pieces, which you don't want to do.
And then try to randomize your end joints, as we did not do.
Yeah, randomize your end joints on your planks. Pretty much, the easiest way to get a randomization of your end joint pieces, as you're working yourself across the room, the last piece that you're going to have in the corner here, you're going to have to cut that piece in order to fit because there's going to be a wall there.
Right.
So whatever piece is left over from that cut plank, just take that plank and walk it to start the next row
of that size.
Right.
But,
I mean, it may not be that particular piece that starts the next row.
Right.
But that's going to start in like 3 rows from now.
Sure.
So you just want to leave that on that side of the room until you get to that plank, till you have the randomization right there for the rows.
Okay.
Thanks for watching our video on our landmark series. Click here if you would like to see our other colors of our random width styles of the landmark series. And click here if you would like to see our installation video on installation tips for that flooring. And if you guys have any questions on that series, give us a call. We're happy to help. A little better?
Yeah.